Hey everybody, welcome back to Hillbilly Homesteader. I'd like to start the video off with saying thank you. I've gained a few subscribers over the last week, so I appreciate y'all for coming over and checking out the channel. If you're new here, um, I am Hillbilly Homesteader 1776. I do basically videos on my homestead and a little on self-reliance, and I'm still new to this, so hopefully you guys will bear with me, and hopefully I'll get better as I do these videos. But if you could hit the like button, hit the little bell icon that's somewhere down in there. It'll let you know when I put out a new video. I would really appreciate that. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a different video for me, but I was watching the news this morning, and something that I saw on there kind of really bothered me, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it all morning. So I thought it was a good idea to try to do a video about it to bring a little bit of attention to it. So I'm probably going to stumble through this. I'm not going to edit it at all. I don't really edit my videos. I just kind of record them on my phone and upload them to YouTube. I'll let you guys know that you are propped up on 3 boxes of chicken broth and a can of chilies. So with that being said, so as by now we all know about what's going on in Texas, with the power outages and the freezing cold and all that stuff. It's no secret anymore. And there's stories coming out of pipes bursting and people dealing with water and not having power, and there's been deaths of from carbon monoxide poisoning. People running either their generators in their garage or house, or running their cars in their garage trying to stay warm, and carbon monoxide poisoning. That's a whole nother issue in itself. If you guys don't know what carbon monoxide poisoning does to you by now, then, but nonetheless, what I feel isn't really being talked about and should be is, this is, like I said, and I saw this on the local news, so I looked into it a little bit more because, like I said, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So this is from the Daily News that is in Houston, Texas, I do believe. And this is a Texas family devastated after 11-year-old boy found dead in freezing home. So I'm going to read this article a little bit, and I'll probably stop and we'll talk about it. So bear with me. I am probably going to stumble through this video. Like I said, I'm new to this, and this is definitely out of my comfort zone for video content, but it's a start. So hang in there. I appreciate it. I don't really want to use his name because he's a young kid. But this 11-year-old got to play in the snow for the first time on Monday, about 2 years after moving from Honduras to join his mother in Texas. It's why he was so excited to go outside, his mom said. Everything was well. He was happy that day. He was not sick at all. But just a day later, the woman would find her 11-year-old son unresponsive in their frigid mobile home near Houston. The seemingly healthy young man was pronounced dead Tuesday from what the family suspects was hypothermia, an apparent consequence of the catastrophic power outages that affected millions of Texans this week amid a brutal and record-breaking winter storm. We all know what happened, right? Texas is not, they're not used to that. They're not built for that. This is way out of their comfort zone. They don't experience this very often. The boy's cause of death is under investigation, but his family said he had no underlying conditions and most likely died because of the cold. Police spent hours at the home and drew blood from the boy's stepfather for a drug test, the mother and the stepfather, as a standard procedure with death investigation, according to the Chronicle. I can understand that if you have a young child that died and there doesn't seem to be really any apparent cause of death. I can understand, I guess, a drug test, but that's kind of a gray area and a thin line. But we'll go on. The boy was excited to see the snow Monday. That, no, excuse me, let's rewind a little bit. The boy was so excited to see the snow Monday that he asked his mom to take pictures and film him as he played outside. The Conroe family told local news outlets it was their second day without electricity, and temperatures in the region had dropped to the teens and single digits, according to the National Weather Service. Oh, let's see. So the mother and her husband desperately tried to keep the young boy and his 3-year-old brother warm despite the lack of heat, but the sixth grader appeared to be okay. He was fine, the woman told Univision. There must be maybe another news outlet there. I never imagined this. We believed it was the cold because he was fine. He had dinner, played, and went to bed. He told me, I'm going to sleep. All right, so sounds like a typical kid, typical day, right? The boy's stepfather checked on the kid sometime overnight, and both were okay and breathing. Around 2:30 p.m. the next day, now this is where it gets a little questionable, but I'll continue. 2:30 the next day, the boy, who was known for sleeping in, was found unresponsive in his bed, according to the family. So, if the boy went to bed at a regular 11-year-old boy's time, he's 11. He's going to be up and running around or asking for breakfast or going to the bathroom way before 2:30 p.m., right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I personally don't have any kids of my own. But I've been in plenty of relationships where I have raised many children, and then little guys and little gals are up early. Okay. So that's kind of, I'm not really too sure on how I feel about that whole situation right there, but I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me here. The emergency personnel arrived at the scene moments later, but could not revive him. Okay. So it's under investigation, and so it goes into saying that the boy is among dozens of people who have died during the snow battering Texas and other states in recent days. Among the deaths were an Oklahoma teen who fell into a frozen pond, a Texas woman whose oxygen machine stopped working due to a power outage, and several people, we talked about this before, several people who had carbon monoxide poisoning after trying to heat their homes with vehicles or ovens. Now, I've lived in a camper before in the wintertime. And them little propane heater blower systems that campers have don't do shit when it's 10 degrees out. So, yeah, I fired up the gas stove, turned all them 4 burners on, and let them rip on high. But I cracked the window. Yeah, but anyway. So, like I said, where I'm going with this is I feel like this boy's death isn't really being talked about. And even though there's millions of people that are dealing with busted pipes, water, and not having power, and they can't go get their Starbucks, and they can't go get their nails done, or whatever the hell they're used to, that's only a temporary discomfort and inconvenience for these people, right? This family has to wake up every day in that trailer without their son, without their brother, right? I know there's grandparents, so now the grandparents for the rest of their lives have to deal with not being able to see their grandson or nephew or whatever the case is. So even though what is happening in Texas is devastating and it's sad, it's not as sad as this family losing their 11-year-old child to cold weather. If that ends up being the case, right? Which I'm not there. I'm reading an article, but they have to live the rest of their life without their son, without their grandson, without their brother. And that's the kind of shit that we should be talking about. And maybe out of this comes some kind of education for people on what to do and what not to do. And maybe it will awaken some people's eyes to be prepped for anything: cold weather, hot weather, loss of power. It happens everywhere you live. Something happens. You go through 4 seasons, and there is the potential for something in each 4 of those seasons. I'm in the Northeast. I know that every year, every winter, we're going to get snow, we're going to get ice, we're going to lose power. It happens. I know in the summertime, we get thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms. We get hurricanes now that are coming through here more often, and tropical storms and microbursts, and this shit happens, right? You're gonna lose power at some point in the year. It could be during a nice, hot, comfortable season, and maybe you sweat a little bit, or it's gonna happen in the winter season, and you're gonna freeze. And you best damn be ready for either one, because as we all know, the weather is changing. You know, I'm not getting into that rabbit hole of what the hell you want to call it, whether it's climate change or global warming and the El Nino and the freaking crap. I don't give a shit. You shouldn't give a shit either. You should just know that the weather is changing and that you should be prepared for it, whatever it is. And I'm not trying to, and I'm definitely not going to put fault on anybody for this, because, like I said, I'm not there. I'm reading the article. I'm trying to bring it to your attention that who gives a shit about your leaky pipes and not being able to have the conveniences in life that y'all have been used to, because everything is at the flick of a switch or a drive to the store. These people have to live the rest of their life without their son. And if that doesn't affect you and that doesn't make you think, man, I don't know, maybe you're not human. I don't even have kids, and just the thought of that alone is choking me up. 11 years old. He's just a kid. He got to see his first snow at 11 years old. And now that's it. I mean, I hope he died a happy young man. I really do. 11 years old, y'all. That's sad. That is sad. So, I don't know, man. I hope you guys are really opening your eyes to what the hell is going on with the weather changing and just the world itself changing. I hope you guys are becoming aware and doing things accordingly to prepare yourselves and your family. Your family. I would have slept in a damn t-shirt if I thought for 1 second that kid was cold. I would have gave him every piece of clothing I had to keep him warm. And I'm going to end that there. So this is Hillbilly Homesteader, guys. Thanks for sticking with me and watching this. If you wouldn't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay safe, stay healthy, and keep on prepping.